I'm trying out a new mic. As you could tell, it's over here, but my cord is so short, so I don't know if this is going to sound weird or not. But today, we're talking about the hardest version of RuneScape ever. If you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm about to say right now. But if not, let's jump into it. Yes, here we are. What is this? Do I even need to say it? Okay, do I? It's pretty obvious what I'm talking about here. We're talking as to why that is the case. It surely has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. I'll tell you that. I just hit 30 herb lore and I really need white berries. But according to the markets, these things are being sold for like 1.2k right now. So we might be here a long time. The only problem is I forgot my Dragonfire shield, so... No! Dude, are you kidding me right now, bro? Wow, I actually had no idea that he could hit a 28. Okay, that sucks. Let's just, that was not, like, I was not wanting that to happen at all. I for sure thought I could tank a couple more hits. Let's just go to the bank real quick. Why don't we, huh? Oh, wait, there's nothing here.
No!
That was a very nice segue into this video. If you don't know by now, we are playing 2004scape, aka Lost City, and we got to go to the closest bank, which is Draenor Village. So I started playing this game when members came out, it was a day before or after, so the end of March. January, February, March. Dude, I've been playing this game for 4 or 5 months. What? I cannot believe it's been that long. I feel like I haven't made that much progress, but at the same time, I guess I kind of did. We're at 29 white berries. I did technically need 38 for my Renar weed potions. All right, we're going to take our Dragonfire shield this time.
Nice!
But for the time that I have spent on this game, it has been honestly a blast. While I've been playing 2004scape, I've also been playing a good bit of old school. I kind of like swap between them, especially if I'm doing something AFK on here. It's a little bit easier to do something AFK on RuneScape as well. If anyone's curious, in old school, I actually finally just got the graceful outfit. I really need to do quests in that game, and I was just like, this will give me some motivation if I have the graceful outfit. But one thing's for certain about switching between old school and 2004scape. It's that this version of the game is so incredibly difficult. And while we all might have different gauges of like what really is difficult, what I'm gauging it off of is just pure difficulty. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. But I'm gauging it just essentially off of how hard really, dude, I don't know how to describe this. This game is just painfully slow. And because it's painfully slow, not a lot of people are going to be able to sit down and play it, especially nowadays. So if you've never played RuneScape, there is probably a 0.00001% chance that you're going to want to play 2004scape. And I'm only saying that because nostalgia is a big factor for the reason of wanting to play this game, and that's completely fine. But with how games are nowadays, this game is just the amount of time that it takes, not only in regular RuneScape, like old school RuneScape or whatever, but like when you dumb that down even more to what this game is, good luck, bro. With old school, you have Rune Knight and you have Quest Helper and you have all of these convenient things that Jagex has updated that game in order to keep players around. It makes that game a lot more enjoyable, especially in today's world, right? Whereas this is supposed to set place in 2004 when games were difficult and there wasn't that many resources. Luckily, nowadays we have a lot of resources because the game's been out for so long for this version of the game. But if you're playing it back in 2004, YouTube wasn't even out yet. I constantly sit here and wonder what people were doing whenever they were truly playing this version of the game, because I was 4, so I didn't play it, of course. Dude, he's still hitting a 12 on me. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to sit here and just take one of these white berries. I did start playing RuneScape a few years after. I was super young, but because my older brothers played this game, I got introduced to it like super early on as a kid. And because of that, I have a tie to how I feel about this game. I talked about it before, but I've always wanted to create an Iron Man, but I just never did. And then when this game kind of rolled around and people started talking about it, I was like, this is kind of the best of both worlds. Since there's no bots, activities like this, either somebody has to do, and there's not that many people willing to do it, or you have to do it yourself. And so while some activities where there's personal gain, you can get items sourced through that. But for things like this, where I'm not getting any XP and it's just solely based on my time and patience, there's like no market for that in this game. And so you either have to do it or you have to pay the price. And because nobody's really selling these, I think I could really price gouge the true price of these up to like 2K, I think, if I really wanted to, which is kind of messed up. I understand. That's how things go, bro. The more there is, the cheaper the price is. The less there is, the more expensive it is. But there's a reason why old legends quit playing RuneScape. It's because the game got too easy. When Jagex continued to update this game for convenience and accessibility, it removed the aspect of how hard the game truly was, especially in this state. 2004 was just, it's brutal, bro. And I think that is why this server is struggling to get a large amount of people to play it, is because most people don't have the patience these days to play a game like this. I'm honestly surprised that I have the patience to play this game, because my patience is pretty low. But to be fair, I don't necessarily play long hours of this. I tend to just kind of spread it over time, and it's made it a lot more enjoyable for me. Now, you could talk about all of the other aspects of old school comes into difficulty, because nowadays, even for myself, I've been playing RuneScape for years and years and years, but because I haven't kept up with everything going on in old school, there is a bit of a difficulty barrier of relearning not only meta strategies, but just everything new in the game. There is so much involved when it comes to learning all about this game that you could consider that difficult as well. Whereas 2004scape, it's fairly simple when it comes to combat. Your basic PVM is just dragons, and there's really one or two ways of getting to 99, and most of them are super straightforward and easy. Whereas old school, there's multiple different ways to do things, whether it's doing a minigame, which is not really a thing in 2004scape, or I don't know. I feel like in old school, they have created it to where there's so many options to where you truly can kind of really have your own path, which I think is the idea. Whereas this game, it kind of becomes a little bit stale because there's only so many simple one-way things of doing it. But on the flip side, because of that, and because of how painfully slow it is, multi-training is a big thing in this game. So if you can go and runecraft and woodcut on your way back, or if you can go mine, you can also superheat. And combining skills is a lot more useful, I feel like, in 04scape because of the slow XP rates, versus old school, where sometimes it's easier just to go straight down the line with each skill if you want to. I'm sitting here talking to the wrong guy to bank.
You stupid.
But even simple things like herb lore in this game, if we take, and don't even get me started about these vials, bro. Don't even ask me about these vials. But in old school, you can make all these potions with 2 clicks, right? With this one, it takes 28 clicks? Or no, might even be more than 28. Yeah, 14 times 2. 28, I think. Or even if you're cooking, you had to individually cook each and every fish. But I believe that update will be out relatively soon. All right, we need to use up the white berries that we currently need before we just start collecting them to sell. And then I can't go to the Grand Exchange and just combine all these doses. We have to actually do it ourselves. And again, I really do understand the flip side of things, where it's like, just because everything is painfully slow and so click intensive doesn't make it hard, but it certainly creates a big barrier for people not willing to do that. Okay, I'm just going to drink this because I don't want to have an extra one. Wait, I still have more to make. Oh gosh. And don't even get me started about the bank space, because I am fairly limited and I do have a lot of junk in my bank. I understand, but I feel like I just don't have that issue in old school. All right, let's make the rest of these potions really quickly. Alrighty, 10 more of these. I guess that kind of leads me into my next thought. Just because this game is harder, does that mean it's better? And the answer is no, I will say. But depending on who you're talking to, that might be the difference. Especially if they have already played the game with it being just as hard, but then other people come around and they get to do the same achievements, but in an easier fashion. And I think that that's why old school RuneScape is so successful, is because they have made ways to make the game not as annoying, but still fun at the same time, which in turn makes a great game. Because after all, we do play games like this to deplug from the real world, right? So we don't necessarily want it to be so hard to the point to where it's like more exhausting to play a game like this than it does to like do shit in the real world when we have to already do it. You know, it's like that whole thought process as well. But that's a whole nother rabbit hole, man. I just think that this is a just prime representation of the hardest point in RuneScape. But respectfully, while also it being, in a sense, the best part of the game. Like, this is the core foundation of what RuneScape is, and you can play it and enjoy it. People are playing it. We're on here. Okay, I think that was all my potions to make. I can do this really quickly. All right, so now we have 18 white berries. I might try to monopolize white berries in this game and just start selling them for however much I want to. We shall see. I still got to do something about my dragon bones and dragon hides. I'm really tempted just to bury all these for the XP, but at the same time, I'm broke, so I don't know if I want to do that. And we just got a genie. We're going to use that on rune crafting because rune crafting is the worst in this game. We're so close to being able to craft gnats. Well, that's about all I have. I'm going to go and get back to collecting white berries mindlessly for hours upon hours in order to get some GP. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. If you haven't checked out 2004scape, you're more than welcome to. I'll put the link down in the description below. That sounds like a paid advertising. It's not. I'm just saying, if you want to play the game, that's how you play it. It's currently Sunday too. I don't know if I'm going to upload this video today or tomorrow, but I am actively trying to get rares. So this is a lot of actions involved as well. Just kind of clicking on the mini map. Maybe I'll get lucky. Who knows?